et aussi de les doter des outils de la gestion de l'information par l'utilisation d'un certain nombre de logiciels qui sont libres. Deuxième atelier, l'objectif principal, c'est doter les enseignants-chercheurs du contexte, bien de l'évolution du contexte éditorial, en ce qui concerne les publications scientifiques, et aussi d'essayer de leur montrer comment développer une stratégie, une politique de publication pour réussir au mieux la publication de leurs travaux de recherche.
Je remercie énormément aujourd'hui aussi bien l'AUF que la Faculté des sciences de l'éducation qui nous ont permis tous les deux d'avoir cette formation aujourd'hui qui est vraiment très enrichissante pour aussi bien pour nous, tous les professeurs chercheurs au sein de cet établissement. Nous remercions également, nous remercions également Monsieur Qassem, notre formateur qui est venu, donc qui s'est déplacé pour nous faire cette formation aujourd'hui, qui aussi bien hier qu'aujourd'hui, qui va durer jusqu'au vendredi.
إذن اليوم هو اليوم الثاني كنحضروا فيه الدورة تكوينية تتعلق ب يعني استعمال التكنولوجيا الحديثة في البحث العلمي وفي التوثيق. وهذه العملية مهمة جدا. لماذا؟ لأنها في الوقت الحالي كما تعرفون هناك انفجار، واحد النوع ديال الانفجار، واحد النوع ديال التراكم في المعلومات الواردة في الانترنت. إذا الباحث يجد نفسه في مشكلة تتعلق بكيفية تمييز ما بين المقالات العلمية المحكمة و يعني المراجع التي تتميز بقدر كبير من الموضوعية، وما بين الأنواع الأخرى من المعلومات والمعطيات المتواجدة في الانترنت.
الجميع يعلم بأن هذا المرض اللي هو كيضرب المغرب هو تيضرب العالم بأسره، يعني ماشي غير في المغرب. الرسالة اللي نبغي نوجه هي أننا عندنا مؤسسات علمية طبية، لأن المواطنين يوضعوا الثقة في هذه المؤسسات. هذه الأولى. المسألة الثانية، المرض خطير جدا، والآن الحمد لله المغاربة بدأوا يشعروا بأن المرض خطير. كاين إكراهات، كاين يعني أشياء اللي ممكن تعرقل المسيرة البلد فيما يخص هذا المرض. ولكن أنا بالنسبة لي تنتوجه للمواطنين وتنقول لهم على أنهم يوضعوا الثقة في المؤسسات الطبية المغربية، المؤسسات العلمية، لأنه الأطباء المغاربة والأساتذة الأطباء المغاربة ما يمكنش نهائيا يديروا شي حاجة إلا ما كانش البحوث مضبوطة في هذا المجال. فلهذا مثلا مسألة ديال التلقيح لحد الساعة هي مسألة أساسية، والمغاربة خاصهم يوضعوا الثقة في هذا الأطباء وفي هذا العلماء. التوجيهات اللي جات يعني من المؤسسات المغربية هي التوجيهات الصحيحة. طبيعة الحال جلالة الملك من تعطي التوجيهات راه هو تعطي توجيهات يعني بتنسيق مع جميع المؤسسات العلمية اللي هي كاينة. هذا اللقاح بالنسبة لي إلى المؤسسات العلمية المغربية قالت على أنه إيجابي، كنا أننا خصنا نديروا هذا اللقاح. بطبيعة الحال ما كاينش شي واحد اللي غيبغي السوء للمواطن المغربي. فلهذا أنا كمواطن وكباحث وكأستاذ تنوضع الثقة الكاملة في المؤسسات العلمية والمؤسسات الطبية المغربية، لأنني أنا اشتغلت معهم كثيرا وكنعرف القيمة الفكرية والقيمة العلمية ديالهم. المسألة الثانية هي أنه اليوم كاين ضغط نفسي. أنا كنطلب من المواطنين على أنه يكون واحد الصبر، ضروري من الصبر باش نقدروا نتجاوزوا هذه المرحلة اللي أكيد أنها مستقبلا يعني مسألة شهور أن هذه المسألة غتمشي. هذا في اعتقادي أو في تقديري المتواضع. إذن الصبر، التوازن النفسي ديال اليوم خصنا 4 أو 5 نوبات الصبر العادي، لأنه الدول العظمى أمريكا فرنسا يعني جميع الدول في العالم هي تعاني من هذا الفيروس هذا، تعاني نفسيا، تعاني صحيا، تعاني تنفقدوا مواطنين يعني في العالم. هذه جائحة ممكن نقولوا جات من عند الله لأننا احنا مسلمين، تندبروها وخصنا كنا نتعاونوا باش ندبروا هذه الجائحة ونثقوا في المؤسسات الطبية والمؤسسات العلمية ديالنا.
كنوجه هذه الرسالة لكافة الطلبة وعموم المواطنين بخصوص جائحة كورونا اللي كان لها تأثير قوي على الصحة وفي نفس الوقت على الجانب النفسي ديال المواطنين. لذلك فمن الواجب ومن اللازم أننا ما نتصابوش بالتراخي ونحافظوا دائما على الالتزام بوضع الكمامة واستعمال كل أدوات التعقيم والحفاظ على مسافة التباعد فيما بيننا الجسدي، لأن هذا غادي يساهم في أنه يقدر يحمينا جميعا ونكونوا مسؤولين ونكونوا نتبناو كلنا استراتيجيات حقيقيه وصحيحه ديال مواجهه هذا الوباء. لذلك في الرساله ديالي يعني لجميع عموم المواطنين والطلبه هو انه من الضروري اننا نلتزموا بهذه الاجراءات الصحيه وفي نفس الوقت ناخذوا الامر بالجديه المطلوبه وما نتصابوش بالتراخي، لان هذا هو السبيل الوحيد للتغلب على هذا الوباء في انتظار ظهور اللقاح ان شاء الله.
اتمنى بان يلتزم الجميع بتعليمات الصحية لمواجهة هذا الوباء الذي ينتشر، واللي إن شاء الله نتمنى يكون فرج في هذه السنة، وذلك يعني ضمانا لسلامة الطلبة وطالباتنا وسلامة طبعا حتى عائلاتهم وسلامة كذلك الأطر التربوية والإدارية بالمؤسسة. يعني هذه رسالة يعني أن يأخذ الجميع حذره وأن يلتزم بالالتزامات اللي أصلا الجميع يعرفها الآن يوميا تذاع عبر وسائل الإعلام.
Le message que j'ai envie de vous transmettre aujourd'hui, c'est que nous traversons une période très, très difficile avec la Covid qui frappe de plus en plus. Donc les mesures de distanciation qui sont de mise aujourd'hui, on doit absolument les respecter scrupuleusement. Et nous sommes tenus, pour l'instant, on dispense des cours à distance, mais éventuellement, le jour où il y aura des cours en présentiel, c'est là où vous devez faire preuve de beaucoup de vigilance, parce que vous allez côtoyer vos enseignants qui sont d'un certain âge, et pour un certain nombre d'entre eux, ils ont des maladies chroniques, donc ils sont très vulnérables. Donc la distanciation s'impose. Et on doit tous contribuer à cet effort national pour que cette période soit gérée de façon intelligente et que tout le monde soit préservé, Inch'Allah, de cette maladie.
كذلك عندي رسالة تنوجهها للطلبة الباحثين، وأنهم أولا يقوموا بالدور ديالهم اللي كاينة في الوطن. من جانب آخر احنا ممكن نكونوا مقبلين على أن الطلبة يجيوا للجامعة يدرسوا حضوريا، وهذا يجب الاحترازات اللي هي المسائل اللي هي واخدها الوزارة تخذ بعين الاعتبار، ويكون تباعد كل المسائل الأساسية، لأنه الطالب هو صاحب الوعي بالنسبة لنا حنايا، هو اللي ممكن يحمل معنا هذه الرسالة من أجل الصالح العام ديال الوطن، الصالح العام ديال الجامعة المغربية. لهذا احنا بالنسبة لنا المسؤولية يتحملها الطالب، ماشي كطالب باش يجي يحترم التباعد، لأنه احترام التباعد أساسي، ولكن باش يوعي، باش يحس، يدير واحد التحسيس على الأقل في المحيط القريب ديالو، ويكون واحد العمل تطوعي لمواجهة هذا الفيروس، وكذلك يحسس بالنسبة للقاح، لأنه نهار اللي تقرر المؤسسات أن اللقاح يتصايب، فالواجب ديال الطالب هو أنه يأخذ هذا الميساج هذا من المؤسسات المعنية ويقوم بالدور ديالو كمواطن له غيرة على هذا البلد، وأننا دائما بطبيعة الحال الهاجس ديالنا هو الأمن والسلامة الصحية ديال المواطن المغربي.
طبعا تنظيم هذا اللقاء هذا هو لقاء من أجل ماستر جديد، ماستر يعنى بقضايا تعليم الكبار بصفة عامة. نعترف بأن هذه القضية هي طبعا كانت شبه مغيبة في الجانب الأكاديمي والعلمي، لكن كلية علوم التربية منذ
الحقل ديال تعلم الكبار والتعليم مدى الحياة اللي كيحتلوا حاليا المغرب، خاصة أن المغرب مقبل على تنظيم الكونفينتي الكونفيرونس انترناسيونال ديدوكاسيون دي زادولت، يعني المؤتمر الدولي لتعليم الكبار، وأن المغرب كيحتل واحد المراتب جد مشرفة في هذا المجال. فهذا الماستر هذا اللي غادي يكون خاص ومختص بالناس اللي كيشتغلوا في المجال ديال تعليم الكبار غادي يعطي واحد القيمة إضافية لهذا الحقل هذا، وغادي يحاول ما يمكن أننا من خلاله نتقدموا أكثر في مجال البحوث، في مجال الدراسة، في مجال التعليم، في مجال المشاركة والتدريب ديال المشاركين في الحقول ديال التعليم الكبار والتعلم مدى الحياة.
Je prends la parole aujourd'hui pour arguer en faveur d'un master intitulé, comme vous le voyez, Éducation des adultes et apprentissage tout au long de la vie. Disons que ce n'est pas tout à fait un nouveau concept puisque c'est né au XIXe siècle, mais c'est une thématique qui est en train de se développer au sein de paysages francophones, européens, occidentaux et bien sûr au Maroc, vu qu'il y a des changements et aussi une vision, une nouvelle vision qui pointe et vise le développement des compétences et bien entendu donner la chance à tout le monde de développer sa situation et aussi de s'insérer dans le monde socio-culturel et économique bien entendu. Alors la faculté des sciences d'éducation a l'habitude de mettre en place des formations innovantes comme l'insertion, comme la pédagogie de la culture et de l'art. Il y a énormément de choses qui se font à la faculté des sciences d'éducation. Et voilà, c'est le tour de l'andragogie, l'éducation des adultes, qui serait peut-être l'occasion pour donner la chance à tous et aussi pour installer la culture de la validation des acquis.
L'AFSE, comme à son accoutumée, a décidé cette année de lancer un nouveau projet sur l'éducation des adultes et l'apprentissage tout au long de la vie. C'est un projet novateur destiné aux adultes pour leur permettre de renforcer leur qualification et de s'inscrire dans un savoir qui va leur permettre de mieux s'inscrire dans le marché d'emploi. Donc nous proposons dans ce master une palette assez diversifiée de modules qu'on a essayé de répartir sur 3 volets. Un volet où on a intégré une palette de disciplines qui touchent les sciences de l'éducation et un volet qui développe aussi un certain nombre de modules sur les modules socio-économiques. Et puis un 3e volet, lui, il est réservé au montage de projets et à la réalisation de projets.
Alors l'Université Mohamed V de Rabat a organisé les journées doctorales sur les innovations pédagogiques et numériques en partenariat avec l'agence universitaire de la francophonie, le bureau du Maghreb. C'est la 2e édition cette année, édition qui a connu vraiment la participation de pas mal d'étudiants doctorants qui sont venus discuter, échanger leur état d'avancement, leurs travaux, leurs projets sur une thématique d'une grande importance, à savoir l'innovation pédagogique et numérique. Ce n'est pas la peine de montrer l'importance du domaine du numérique dans le domaine de l'enseignement. La crise du Covid-19 a montré l'importance du numérique comme moyen permettant d'assurer la continuité pédagogique, laquelle continuité qui s'est donc réalisée durant la période du confinement, mais aussi durant donc le semestre, plutôt les semestres ou la session d'automne pour cette rentrée universitaire 2020-2021. Alors pour cette année, il y a eu la participation de beaucoup de doctorants qui sont venus de pas mal d'universités. Pratiquement toutes les universités marocaines ont été représentées. Mieux encore, il y a des doctorants qui représentent des universités étrangères, surtout les universités francophones, des universités françaises, canadiennes et des universités de l'Afrique subsaharienne. Et 3 doctorants ont été primés, parce qu'on a donc donné 3 prix. Le prix de la meilleure communication, le prix du meilleur poster et le prix du meilleur état d'avancement.
إذن هذه المبادرة هي جيدة قامت بها الجامعة بالتعاون مع لايف مع الوكالة الجامعية الفرنكوفونية في إطار تشجيع الطلبة على الابتكار التربوي وعلى الرقميات بصفة عامة. نعتبرها مبادرة مهمة جدا لأنها تعطي الإمكانية للطلبة لأجل الإبداع ولأجل الخط وأجل التميز أيضا في هذه المجالات التي ذكرت. يعني نعتبر أن الطلبة المتفوقين لا ينتمون فقط لجامعة محمد الخامس، بل ينتمون لجامعات أخرى، فقط طالبة هي التي تنتمي إلى جامعة، وبالتالي نعتبر بأنه نجاح هذه المبادرة التي يمكن أن تحقق على المدى القريب أهدافها، وخاصة المتجلية بالأساس في تشجيع الطلبة على الابتكار، تشجيع الطلبة على الإبداع في هذه المجالات، والتي ستحفز أكيد طلبة مستقبلا في إنجاز مشاريع ضخمة إن شاء الله.
Donc c'est une manifestation qui est organisée par l'agence universitaire de la francophonie à Rabat et par l'université Mohamed V aussi à Rabat. Elle vise à soutenir le développement de recherche sur l'innovation pédagogique et le numérique, notamment l'encouragement de thèses de doctorat sur ces thématiques-là. Donc, nous organisons annuellement cette manifestation et nous regroupons les jeunes chercheurs qui travaillent sur ces thématiques et nous encourageons les jeunes à travailler sur ces thématiques par l'octroi de prix pour les meilleurs travaux dans ce domaine-là.
بالنسبة لي التنظيم ديال هذا الحدث العلمي في هذه الظروف الاستثنائية الصحية كان كيشكل واحد التحدي كبير بالنسبة لنا كطلبة وبالنسبة حتى للأساتذة، وفي حد ذاته الموضوع اللي تطرح هو واحد الحاجة ملحة اللي كنا محتاجين لها كلنا بالنسبة للأطر التربوية والإدارية في قطاع التعليم. أنا بالنسبة لي هذا الحدث كان ورشة وأكثر ورشة، لحقاش كان فيه مجموعة من الأنشطة، لي بوستر، لي كومونيكاسيون اورال، ولا حتى لي زانترفونسيون بالنسبة للناس اللي هما مختصين في المجال لا داخل الوطن ولا خارج الوطن. كنشكروا جامعة محمد الخامس وأيضا لايف اللي ديما كينظموا لنا تظاهرات علميه ولا حتى تكوينات، لحقاش سبقنا تلاقينا مجموعه من التكوينات. كنشكروا ايضا الكليه الام اللي هي علوم التربيه المعنيه الاولى بهذا قطاع تطوير قطاع التربية والتعليم.
هذا المؤتمر الأول من نوعه الدولي الذي يخص الطلبة في وضعية إعاقة، الهدف ديالو هو إعطاء ثمار وعصارة عمل 7 سنوات بين هاد الفرقاء كلهم لتسهيل اندماج الطلبة في محيطهم الجامعي، وكذلك اندماج الطلبة في وضعية إعاقة في سوق الشغل وفي النسيج السوسيو اقتصادي، وكذلك دراسة الآفاق المستقبلية للعمل في السنوات المقبلة حتى تبقى وتيرة الاهتمام بهذه الفئة التي تتميز بمهارات كبيرة في جميع الميادين، والتي فقط يجب تسهيل اندماجها والاهتمام بها والانتباه إليها، لأنها ستكون إضافة أساسية بالنسبة لكل المكونات الجامعة المغربية وكل مكونات النسيج السوسيو اقتصادي. وشكرا.
الفضاء موجود بمركز المسارات المهنية كيوفر للطلبة كل الاحتياجات ديالهم البيداغوجية والمسائل اللوجستية والوسائل اللي كتساعدهم على الدراسة وعلى يعني المساعدة في الامتحانات، كيفاش يديروا الامتحانات، كنديروا لهم تكوينات في المعلوميات، كنديروا لهم تكوينات في المهارات الشخصية. ملي انخرطت جامعة ابن-طفيل في المشروع سوينغ ومن بعد المشروع بيسز، الجامعة شنو خصات واحد الفضاء للطلبة في الإعاقة فيه 3 ديال القاعات مجهزات بالكمبيوترات، بالزايباد، بالمعلوميات بالنسبة كاع للإعاقات، لا الإعاقة البصرية ولا الإعاقة الحركية ولا الإعاقة السمعية. الطلبة كاملين كيلقاو في هذا الفضاء كل الاحتياجات ديالهم. احنا كنسهروا على الجانب الحقوقي، يعني اي شنو نقول الحقوق اللي موجوده في القانون ديال المغرب حنا كنحققوا لهم للطلبه، يعني في كل ما يخص الولوجيات. يعني الجامعه رجعت دابا تقريبا 100% ولوجه، الطالب ما عندوش اشكال باش يلجا للمدرج ولا لقاعه التدريس. عندهم المشكل ديال الامتحانات، الطلبه اللي ما كيشوفوش درنا لهم كيكون عندهم مرافق، كندير لهم قاعه خاصه كيدوزوا فيها الامتحان اما شفوي مع الاستاذ بصفه تلقائيه، ولا كيكون عندهم مرافق ولا مرافقه كيساعدهم على الكتابه.
يعني يأتي هذا المؤتمر العالمي كمثله من المؤتمرات الوطنية والدولية اللي كتنظمها جامعة بن-طفيل في إطار تعزيز ثقافة تيسير الحياة الدراسية والعملية للطلبة في وضعية إعاقة. كما كنعرفوا أن جامعة بن-طفيل جهزت فضاءات الجامعة بالولوجيات المادية والتقنية، ونحن نعمل على إدخال أيضا التكنولوجيا الذكية في حياة الطالب الدراسية، حياة الطالب في وضعية الإعاقة الدراسية ولما لا العملية والحياتية.
اليوم الدراسي كان تداولنا فيه حول مشاكل الأشخاص في وضعية إعاقة، وكان فرصة لتدارس التجارب ومشاركة الخبرات التكنولوجية والقانونية والإدارية في هذا المجال. ومشروع بيسز بالإضافة إلى مركز طلبة الأشخاص في وضعية إعاقة هي مبادرة حسنة تيسر ولوج الطلبة المعاقين لدروب العلم وتسهل اندماجهم في سوق الشغل. ونشكر القائمين على هذه المبادرة ونتمنى السير في هذا النهج في قادم الأيام إن شاء الله. شكرا.
السادة نواب الرئيس، السيدة جاكلين كوستن منسقة مشروع فيسز، السيد ممثل الاتحاد الأوروبي، السيدات والسادة الزملاء من جامعة المشاركة في المشروع، السيدات والسادة الزملاء من جامعة البث، السادة الشركاء المهنيين، السادة الصحفيين، أعزائي الطلبة، مرحبا بكم في هذه الندوة اليومية الأولى التي تنظمها جامعة المغربية بالتعاون مع الجامعة المشاركة في مشروع إيراسموس بلس فيسز. هذا المشروع هو تتمة لمشروع كامبوس سوينغ. هذا مشروعان ينصبان على إدماج الطلبة في حالة إعاقة داخل الفضاء الجامعي في المغرب وفي مصر. من خلال هذه المشاريع تم إنشاء مراكز الإدماج والتي توفر خدمات تكنولوجيا، تكوين على المهارات وفضاء لتحسين جميع مكونات الجامعة بضرورة توفير ظروف جيدة للدراسة والاندماج. الشكر الجزيل مرة ثانية لسيد رئيس جامعة المغربية على ما قدم من إمكانيات لإنعقاد هذه الندوة. Now I'm going to shift to English. Honorable Professor Stevie David, President of Ibn-Tofail University, Honorable Vice Presidents, dear Professor Jacqueline Coston, PACES Coordinator, Mr. Representative of the European Union, dear professional partners, dear colleagues from the Ministry of Higher Education and Solidarity, dear colleagues from partner universities, dear colleagues from Ibn-Tofail University, dear journalists, dear students, I would like to welcome you all to this first international conference organized by Ibn-Tofail University in collaboration with the Erasmus Plus project PACES partners from Morocco, Europe, and Egypt. The conference is entitled University, Society, and Enterprise Solidarity in favor of the inclusion and integration of students with disability in Morocco. PACES is a continuation of an idea we have all cherished since Campus Project Swing, that of creating a friendly and hospitable environment for students with disability. The objectives of PACES project lie in integrating students with disability in the university campus in Morocco and Egypt. Thanks to the funds provided by the European Union, 8 North African universities have succeeded in setting up accessibility centers, both physical and virtual, in providing appropriate assistive technology, training, and coaching. Our European partners have been very generous in transferring their best practices. Each local PACES team has worked hard to sensitize top management, faculty, administrators, students, and parents to do their best to facilitate the integration and the inclusion of students with disability on campus and in the job market. We have recruited a lot of EIMs and we intend to carry on recruiting more. Now I will give the floor to His Excellency Professor Aslim Midawi, the President of Ibn-Tofail University.
Thank you very much, my friend. First of all, it's a big honor and big pleasure for me and for our university to receive this first international campus organized with the partner of the Erasmus Plus universities and thankfully University Society and enterprise solidarity in favor of the inclusion and integration of students with disability in Morocco and in Egypt. Second thing, I want to thank all our partners and especially our friends from Union Europe, particularly University of Campus, University of Al-Akhawayn, Spain, University of Macedonia, Greece, and University of Moulay-Ismaïl from Suivez. Second thing, I want also to thank our partner from Egypt, Academy Arab for the Science and Technology, University Ain Shams, University of Fayoum, University of Mansoura. And again, I want to thank all our Moroccan partners, University Al-Akhawayn, University Ibn-Tofail, and University of Moulay-Ismaïl, and also our partners society, Samir Society, with order, particularly my friend Sayyid Hello. At the end, I want again to thank you all to give us this opportunity, and I hope big success for your first conference. Second thanks, I hope that nice action will continue in other phases. It's our responsibility to capitalize this nice project and deliver from this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Now I will give the floor to Professor Mohamed Dahir, Vice President in charge of academic affairs. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Dear Mr. President, Aslim Midawi, dear Mrs. Jacqueline Colston, Peace's coordinator, Mr. Representative of the European Union, dear representative of the Ministry of Solidarity and Ministry of Higher Education, dear Professor and colleague Vice President, dear colleague from partners universities, dear colleague from Ibn-Tofail University, dear professional partners, dear students, welcome all. First of all, I wish we could meet here in person in this nice sunny day. But because of the pandemic, we are forced to hold this event online. Today, we celebrate the efforts of 12 European and North African universities to empower students with disability, to facilitate their access to higher education and to better their career opportunity. Thank you to the European Union. From 2013 to 2016, we worked together as partners in the STEAM project. 8 universities participated then in that project. Since 2017, 12 universities have participated in PACES.
We have learned a lot about disability and best practices from the European partners. We have worked together to solve problems, to set up accessibility center and to use assistive technology. We have managed to persuade employers to be EMs and to adopt a policy of inclusion. I hope we will have the chance to work again on how we can develop the experience we have acquired. I hope we will transfer our best practices to other Moroccan and Egyptian universities. Finally, let me reiterate our deepest gratitude to the European Union for founding this project. I would like also to warmly thank all pieces, teams from partners universities for their commitment and sense of sacrifice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Damir. Now I give the floor to PACES Coordinator, Professor Jacqueline Costa. Jacqueline, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm thinking now, can you hear me, you said?
Well, I'm very well.
Okay, so I'll just carry on chatting until you can tell me that you can hear me, because everybody else can hear me on the call. I think it's probably something to do with translating it into the hall. And I can hear you, Yusuf, when you're speaking.
No, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, I'll just keep just chit-chatting. And so it's a sunny day over here in the UK, which is a great change. But the sun is shining and the daffodils are out, so we're feeling a bit more hopeful today. We're very sorry that we can't join with all of you in the space, in the hall. As soon as Yusuf gives me the go-ahead, I'll do a proper introduction. But I think they're just trying to work that out at the moment. I think I'm probably the first person who's spoken from the Google Meet. So maybe it's a bit of a technical glitch. A few of my colleagues are here. My colleagues who have helped me in the project and have been with me all the way. So I'm really pleased to see them. I'm really pleased to see everybody else here. I'm just chatting away so that they can tell whether I'm speaking or not. I'll probably stop in a minute and then they can shout to me if they want me to start again. But I am, as far as my microphone is concerned, it's on and you can all hear me, so I'm just thinking that it's probably a glitch in the hall where they're trying to get the video call. So I apologise for that. I also need to tell everybody that there is a building work going on opposite my house. So if you do hear some building noise, hopefully it won't last too long, but they have picked this week to start, which is unfortunate, but I've tried to block it out as much as possible. And so great to be part of the project and part of the project conference at last, which is brilliant. So I think they're still trying to sort out the sound. So I'm just chatting away. Can you hear me? Jacqueline?
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, Jacqueline, I was just, good morning, and good morning, Khalifa. I was just going to remind you to speak slowly when you give your actual talk. Because I can't see, I can see that the Google caption is working as a translation, but obviously it works best. It's quite a slow presentation. Good morning. Thank you, Catherine. I will speak a lot slower. I'm sure you will.
Jacqueline, can you hear me? Yes, please.
Yes, and it's so exciting with the conference today. We've got a lot of people joining us, I understand. I'm not sure how many, but I think it's probably over 100. Khalifa, do you know how many people are joining us today?
Online now something like maybe 61, but I think I don't know how many people in the hall there.
Sure, it's about maybe 20, maybe more.
I think maybe
Khalifa,
more
can
than that.
you hear me, Khalifa?
I think the whole
Okay, we'll direct the camera and show you the audience.
So Catherine, have you tried the translation? Can you see my words coming up at the bottom?
I'm using both sites, so I'm running both sites at the moment. But I also have the captioning on the main site, which runs off the bottom of my screen. So I'm not hearing a translation, but I can see a caption in the main site.
Oh, that's good.
Jacqueline?
I don't listen to last week everything froze. So I'm just going to go with the one and then I'm going to go with
كنسمعوا على translation yeah.
And I think
Jacqueline, can you hear me? Yes, please. This is just a welcome note from your part as project coordinator. So can you just say a few words to the audience, and then we'll start the presentations. Yes, please. Go ahead. Thank you.
I can't tell whether you can hear me or not, Lisa, but I am speaking. I'm trying to chat a little bit so that we can get the sound sorted. If you let me know.
No, we can hear you. Just go ahead.
I don't know. Can you hear me? So I'm just talking away, but let me know when you want me to start, Yusuf.
No, just a few words to welcome the audience as project coordinator.
Okay, you want me to start, Lisa?
Yes, start, please. Yes, start. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, well, I just really wanted to start off with the opening by saying, how happy I am to be here today, and I really wish that I was there in person. As we said, I'm the coordinator of the PACES project, and I'm going to be introducing later, but just to say thank you today, and that according to the World Health Organization, in 2020 there were more than 1 billion people in the world who live with some form of disability, and this is increasing day by day. Young people with a disability are much less likely to go to university, and of those that achieve a degree, there is a much lower percentage of graduates with a disability who will gain employment compared to those without a disability. So in 2017, with our partners, we started the PACES project to try to change this. Today, the conference allows us to celebrate our work over the last 3 years and to work with the ministries, the universities, the employers organisations, and of course the students to discuss how we can take this further. So I would really like to thank our esteemed guests, Professor Azadine El-Mdawi, President of Ibn-Tofail University, Professor Mohammed Damir, Vice President in charge of academic affairs, who has been a great supporter of the PACES project and one of the original members. Ms. Wafay Hajaji, Mr. Brahim Zariki, Minister of Solidarity, Social Development, Equality and Family, Mr. Abdel Lassam Laizadi, Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Mohammed Arutin, National Council for Human Rights, Mr. Abdel Hamid Al-Haddad, Social Development Agency, Professor Abdullahi Burhaba, Coordinator of the Ibn Khaldun Project, Professor Abdurrahman Haddad, University of Moulay-Ismaïl, Ms. Naima Harab, Director of the National Agency for the Promotion of Employment Skills. A special thanks go to Professor Karima Salmawi, Professor Yusuf Hadoush, and Professor Ahmed Khalifa Mohammed, and all of the team at Ibn-Tofail for organising the conference, and to all of the PACES project team for their contribution and support. I want to thank the partners in PACES for working so hard, for all the teams and all the participants, and for the European Union Erasmus Plus programme for funding the PACES project and for making it all possible. I think I'm handing back to you now, Yusuf, and then I can do my presentation when you're ready. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you very much. Well, I think we are done with the opening speeches, so I think we'll move now to the presentations. And I will invite you, Jacqueline, again to make the presentation. Do you need to share your screen? Jacqueline, do you need to share your screen? Can you hear me, Jacqueline? Jacqueline, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, I think you can start. I think you can start your presentation now that we are done with the opening speeches. So, do you want to share the screen for your presentation?
Yes, doing that now.
Okay, so now we're going to listen to a presentation by Professor Jacqueline Cosme again, entitled Overview of the EU PACES project. Well, the floor is yours.
So the reason we're all here is for papers. And today I'm going to give an overview of the PACES project and the impact it has made in the last 3 years. Firstly, I'm going to tell you a bit about my background so that you can see where I'm coming from. So I started my career working for BBC Television in London, working on digital graphics. And after some years I worked freelance for television. And then I started my own company, employing and training broadcast professionals, which I did for 10 years. So I understand how hard it is, but how rewarding it is to be an entrepreneur. I then changed direction and I became leader of the adult team at Birmingham Brain Injury Centre, where the focus was to help people back into work after they had suffered an acquired brain injury. The participants were mainly the victims of vehicle accidents or assaults. They had sustained many disabilities and in general had to find new and different employment. This involved a programme of rehabilitation and workplace skills. Alongside supporting people with disabilities and educating employers about the opportunities arising when you make your workplace more diverse and more disability friendly. During this time, I gained qualifications in careers and employability. After this, I entered academia, where I was the employer development manager at Oxford University. I worked with students and also with employers to increase opportunities for graduates. So I understand the pressures on employers, and that when you explain the benefits of employing a diverse workforce, most of the employers find that their worries about employing people with disability found. I set up the Serious Game Institute, and then the needed very well. Both of these centres were all about innovative ways of learning. Including a virtual workplace edition helps people with autism experience trouble to use. Then 3 years ago, my co-director, Professor Gary Hall, we set up the Research Centre for Post-Digital Cultures, aiming to understand this post-digital and working towards this for the more socially attainable post-capitalism. So in my work, you can see that our digital technology increasing education and work. So that are my first. Coventry University is in Coventry, in the heart of England. It is very forward-thinking, innovative university. We have a 5G campus, and currently we are top in the world for massive open online courses, which some people call MOOCs. We are the top university for graduate career prospects in the UK. Country, one time University of the Year in 2016. We are at disability. We are always top or near the top for students. Students are the reason we exist, why we come to work, why we always put them first. We have hundreds of projects in our university, and in my research centre alone we have 59 projects. Of most relevance here are the projects in my research centre about working with students with disabilities. I was principal investigator of something you probably heard a few people talking about. Swing was also setting up accessibility centres, and the first in a suite of projects with my good friends in the Arab Academy in Alexandria, Abdel Malik Sadi in Tehran, the University of Alicante, and of course here in Kenitra with Ibn-Tofail University, which we started in 2000. At one of those visits here to Kenitra. And we all very sad that we can't be with you today. The Swing project helped us make a good press at the Erasmus Plus conference in Brussels. It is the basis for the PACES project. So when Swing finished, we then worked on a similar project called Muse with our partners from Alicante University, working with universities in South America to help their students with disabilities in Chile, Argentina and Mexico. This project was deemed to be the top Erasmus Plus project in South America with best practice. So then it was time for us to move on from Swing, and we wrote the PACES project. And the PACES follows on from Swing and Muse. And the focus of all of these projects is to increase capacity, to access the students, to help students get university and get through their courses, and ultimately to work. For us all, it's important to create impact, which means in terms of the project that something has changed. This project is not just to provide equipment, not just to provide training, but for us to work together to create a better environment in universities for the future, so that students with disabilities can equally access a university education and ultimately employment. So the aim of PACES is to set up a system and programme to support the modernisation of higher education by developing accessibility centres. And by accessibility centres, I mean a point of contact in your university, point of contact that has equipment, it has support, it has advice. And it's just that bit extra that helps students make it through university courses. And there are 4 objectives of PACES. 1 is to transfer good practice and assess the needs. 2, to build and progress the accessibility centres. 3, to build on the swing training program and to add to that with lessons learned. 4, to establish an employers network and mentors in business. And 5, to develop student support peer-to-peer networks. There are 12 partners in the project. 4 from the EU, 4 from Morocco, and 4 from Egypt. We all help each other. We share knowledge and borrow good practices. It's a well-balanced project, where different universities bring their different skills and experiences to the mix. But like making a cake, we bring all the ingredients together to make something very special. The first work package involved asking students and staff what the current situation was in their universities and what they needed. This is what they said. We conducted surveys and we held focus groups, and this is what they said they wanted: employability support, training for staff and social groups for students, and accessibility centres. And as you can see, employment is at the top of the list. Like the majority of all students everywhere, students with disabilities want to get a job and fulfilling career. My colleagues, led by Dr. Sarah Merry, have compiled this research into a needs assessment report with recommended good practices. And this is available to you in hard copy on the website. And I'm sure our partners can make that available to you in hard copy if you're in the hall, or on the website if you're from a distance. 6 new accessibility centres were created because Ain Shams University have 2 accessibility centres, and 4 other centres were progressed and improved because Arab Academy have 2 centres. And so building on the 4 centres already created during the Swing project, this now makes 10 accessibility centres because of the PACES project. In fact, creating an extra 2 accessibility centres, we have created more impact than we said we would. The accessibility centre in University of Ishmael was visited by employers and government staff who were inspired to sponsor full scholarship for students with a disability in future years. And as an additional impact at UMI, the visitors offered to replace the centre's windows, which were in need of repair. A new innovation for the project was the addition of pop-up accessibility centres, which meant that these mobile, flexible, pop-up centres could be taken out to different places where people live who would not have the benefit of visiting the universities. Therefore, teachers, trainers and students could get view of the accessible technology and the support available there when they go to university. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the pop-up accessibility centres have visited over 15 venues in places such as schools, municipal spaces and libraries, taking PACES out of the university into the community. As you can imagine, the training of teachers, training of support staff and students has been very difficult in the COVID-19 situation. Teachers and lecturers have had to put most of their teaching online. And although it felt like an extra task to some people, it was actually a joy to others. To train teachers, employers and volunteers about working with students who have disabilities. The aim being to understand how to make learning more accessible and to improve quality in the workplace. All PACES universities are including training in their reduction courses. In fact, this has been so effective that 2 of the universities, Ain Shams University and the Arab Academy, are providing training to staff from universities outside of their own universities. And this shows the spread of knowledge and capacity building. Bayoun University has provided training to government staff and to employers off-site. recruiting volunteers was not only to help students with disabilities throughout their student life and to include students with disabilities in social activities, but so that the students understand the implication of what it means to have it. And this means that we're training future professionals. We are training architects, teachers, psychologists, engineers to create universal design in whatever job in, so that we don't treat disability as a problem in the workplace. We design the workplace to make it equal for all. The amazing students of the PACES universities have been so enthusiastic that we recruited many more volunteer students in our programme than we had planned to do. We have recruited and trained over 1,000 volunteer students. There have been obstacles. No project is without some difficulties. But for us, the world changed in 2020 when the COVID-19 virus emerged, creating havoc in most countries in the world. I didn't get people working from home. Student learning online, we've been affected in every. Communication has been an issue. We've not been able to meet each other face to face. We know that we work much better when we meet in person. We get a lot more done when we're in the same room, face to face, working as friends. As part of the project, we were introduced to Zoom video meetings, long before the rest of the world had to take it up. It's been a great benefit to us all meeting online and over Zoom or Teams or Skype for teaching and training. We're all tired of being on screens due to the pandemic, but we have all kept in touch. Teams of each partner country in Morocco and Egypt have been keeping in touch with their partners and their colleagues to support each other, to help each other. We always say we feel like a family. We have worked together as a family to complete the PACES project. 19. This is the pace of carrots and a little differently than intended. But we still did it. We have covered all of our activities. The European Union, the RAPLUS programme, has been very understanding of the situation, and therefore we were able to project by 6 months to call 2021, in the hope that we will be able to cover all of our deliverables. The main reason we overcame these obstacles is that we are all determined and passionate about the project. As for the deliverables, we had unexpected surprises in the project. Professor Najas Debshek at the University of Maribor, Slovenia, and the coordinator for accessibility for the Federation of the Deaf. Professor Zahoun of the University has made contact with the president of the evening doing the work for the PACES project. And as you will see later, a Moroccan Instagrammer visited Ibn-Tofail University. The video of their visit has had 1,000 hits online. Professor Habiba Destra and her team at University Mohammed V hosted a very well-attended conference. We're organising and disseminating their work with students with disabilities. Students at Mohammed V created a charitable project to raise money and support on young children. And Surrey University has created a new master's level course in special education as a result of this in the PACES project, which is a fantastic capacity building impact. And with more impact, Arab Academy will join the presidential ceremony held for and by people with disabilities in it of His Excellency Mr. Al-Fattah El-Sisi, the Egyptian president. Under the Egyptian Sport Federation for Intellectual Disabilities, the team will share their stories and their good practices. and Arab Academy's team has joined 2 of the entrepreneurship summits in Egypt. And 7 ended that PACES project at the Eid Entrepreneurship Summit in Aswan and the Technical Summit in Alexandria. And at Mohammed V University, in the program Citizenship Education, 72 students are engaged in accompanying the candidates applying for recruitment organised by the Ministry of Finance. Arabic, we started a care club, student chapters, volunteer about support for students with disabilities as part of the sustainability. And during the next day and tomorrow, we hear impact and sustainability. And now today we can advance one of the most important work packages, employability. And the aim of this part of the project was to recruit employers as mentors, run roundtables and employability workshops, and set up a national network, and to collate placement streams. As part of this, we developed the Employers Charter to make your workplace disability friendly. Diversity makes business sense. It's all about employers and employment communities. And we aim to set up an high-education employees network in Morocco and Egypt. All with disabilities are hugely diverse people with many amazing skills and experiences. Employers could disable people in terms of having values and employ people who think differently and have qualities that their organisation can get that competitive edge that is key in business. This leaves a very impact on the profits when you recruit from the widest pool of talent. Employing people with a disability is not an act of charity. It is a reflection of a business that strives to be inclusive of everyone and wants to tap into skills and experiences wherever they are found and supports everyone to be best, ultimately benefiting the business. As one of the outputs with all our partners, with Ibn-Tofail leading this work package, we have created an employers' charter focused on students through the PACES project. Disability organisations play a leading role in changing attitudes for the better, are changing and cultures in their own businesses and communities, and reaping the benefits of inclusive practice. One of the most important work packages, which has been delayed because of the COVID-19 situation, is the Employers Network. And I'm so delighted to see everybody here today. There are some wonderful organisations in Morocco and Egypt already working towards disability confidence in the workplace. And most of them are here and already committed. And I really hope that today and tomorrow we can work together with our employers and organisations already working in this area to build the network and to spread it more widely through the partner countries. This will be one of the best legacies of PACES. So we ask ourselves, what is next? What is the sustainability of this project? Our colleagues at Abdul Malik Asadi are leading the sustainability work package, but all of the PACES partners are committed to continuing the work of the accessibility centres. The pop-up mobile accessibility centres will continue to visit schools and community spaces in Morocco and Egypt. Training will continue, and it has already become part of induction for staff, which means that every staff member will understand what it means to help students with disabilities in the university to progress to graduation and beyond. Student volunteering will continue. They will support peers every year, and when our students go out in the world at work and pay us to it. The Higher Education Employer Network will continue and will develop. it's employers and organisations that play students. Disability to invest in and encourage them to employ people with disabilities in their workplaces. Employers and students are essential to help shape and grow the legacy. And finally, the purpose will be to create a more equal and diverse society. Thank you all so much for being here and being part of the conference.
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline.
Hopefully I've stopped sharing my screen now. Is that correct?
Thank you very much, Jacqueline, for this succinct overview.
Thank you.
Thank you. So back to you, Sir.
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline, for your succinct presentation. Well, as you said, we have been working together as a family since 2013, and they hope we will carry on, why not, work on something new to promote the accessibility centers and satisfy the needs of students with disabilities. With no further ado, I will give the floor now to another member of the PACES team, namely our dear Livki and Ms. Pagona Yolido from Greece to talk about how to hire persons with disability. Livki, how are you? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, the floor is yours.
Pleased to see you even from distance. Thank you very much for organizing this conference and this interesting that we have the website. We see the site that we can help you there. This was the content of the project and the implementation of all activities. I am not going to take much time since my colleague make that presentation. And I will be here available to ask any for any questions. The topic of the presentation is how to hire people with disabilities. I hope all you can hear us, hear me. Tonya?
It's fine, it's fine.
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning from you. Okay, you can share the screen. Okay. So, hopefully I can make it. So, just a minute. Is the same problem as before? Yes, that's the same problem as before. I hope I can deal with it. Can you hear me now? Yes, hear you?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you share it?
Yeah, you have to disconnect one of your devices.
Yes.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Should I for that? Okay. I don't know why that happened.
Disconnect
just one. Miss Tonya, just please.
What we need to investor in
this one seat, yeah. You know, this is the engineer.
I have disconnected this. I don't know how that happens.
Not mute the mic, you have to disconnect the audio. Yeah.
Tonya doesn't pick up on door. We don't hear the door. What about now? Yes, you get a problem with
You will find at the right side, present now. So
No, we can see your presentation.
Okay, go ahead. We cannot hear you, but we can see the presentation. No, don't hear you. You cannot hear us. And please have the microphone can sit down. I'm sorry for everything, sorry. Can you hear me? Yes, yes, now yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Because I cannot hear you.
No, we can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
We hear you now. Sorry.
No, still no.
We hear you.
Perfect, Tony. Go ahead.
Okay, let's start. I cannot hear you, unfortunately.
No, we can hear you. Go ahead.
The good thing is I didn't hear you. Okay, so we will go into the thank about how to find persons with disabilities. First of all, having a disability in the workplace often simply means being differently able. So in many countries, individuals with disabilities are protected by law. I'm sorry, but you cannot hear, so I'm writing to the message. We have done a lot of rehearsal, but more, sorry, Khalifa. We did rehearse that many times. Is that okay now?
Yes, it's okay. Go ahead.
Perfect. So we are going to present you about how to find people with disabilities. So having a disability in the workplace often simply means being differently able. So in many countries, individuals with disabilities are protected by law. As employers are prohibited from discriminating against applicants with disabilities and often try to focus on hiring individuals with disabilities. Like all employees, people with disabilities can bring a range of skills, talents, and abilities to the workplace, and there is a range of supports to help them find and keep employment. So let's start about why employers don't hire people with disabilities. Every person is not right for every job, but many employers don't realize that people with disabilities represent a diverse labor pool with a wide range of backgrounds and experience capable of meeting or exceeding performance standards. Employers may choose not to hire individuals with disabilities just because they believe that they are less productive and equally qualified individuals with disabilities. So let's give them some reasons why to hire people with disabilities. One of them is that they have a larger talent pool. In the long run, hire the best workers that they, regardless of whether they are disabled or not, Consider the chances for small business success. By welcoming candidates with disabilities, you will be accessing the part of the workforce that you are unlikely to have access for. You are more likely to recruit the right person to the right job if you are not excluding anybody. Another reason is the potential improved image. If you operate in a small community, you can quickly establish a reputation as a company that offers a more diverse workforce. This will make you more attractive to potential employees, customers and business associates, meaning that your organization will be more community representative in general. Other companies in your area may also be inspired to follow your lead, eventually creating a more diverse business climate in your community in general. People with disabilities also inspire others, so if they do so, and employers will witness the positive effect on their entire staff. Co-workers seem much more open to teamwork when a disabled employee is on the team, and they also enthusiastically help disabled employees to be successful. People with disabilities also have a need to succeed. Employers themselves agree that these employees are committed to their work and are dedicated to the company. Also, they express a very strong desire to succeed and regularly seek more responsibility. Many people with disabilities have been excluded from the workforce for a long time and are very keen to work hard. Their enthusiasm can be infectious. So, some basic demands of people with disabilities are stated on the workplace. Employers must be sure that they understand the legal requirements which are expected from an employee. You must not make enemies of people. If you need information about how an applicant will perform a role or task, ask him or her. You must treat the person with disability. It would also be wise to let your staff know that that person with disabilities job and make sure that everyone is positive. You could also prepare your staff before the person you hired shows up for the first day of work. Explain the individual circumstances and why he or she was hired. If your staff still feels uncomfortable about how to communicate or work with a colleague, arrange training for them. So, this diagram shows a way how to cover needs and demands of these people with disabilities in the workplace. First of all, you advertise the role. Selection criteria should be based on the specific skills, knowledge and abilities required to perform the role needed. Then applications are received. Shortlist applicants are based on standard merit and equity principles. You arrange interviews, whereas to better the shortlisted candidates require any adjustment for the interview itself. Then, afterwards, you conduct the interview. You must ensure all questions focus on the candidate's ability to perform the role, make no other assumptions, and hiring decisions should be made using merit-based